Memphis, ancient Egypt's first capital, a center of power for millennia, and the cradle of civilization, where the mighty Nile River carved its path through the desert, a city rose that would shape the destiny of one of humanity's greatest empires. This was Memphis, Egypt's first capital, a beacon of power, faith, and ingenuity that endured for more than 3,000 years. Imagine the scene around 3100 BCE. The legendary King Narmer, also known as Menes, unites the warring kingdoms of Upper and Lower Egypt for the first time in history. To symbolize this new unity, he establishes a strategic stronghold at the apex of the Nile Delta, where the river fans out toward the Mediterranean. He calls it Enebu Hedge, the White Walls, perhaps referring to the gleaming, whitewashed fortifications of the royal palace. This city would become the political heart of a unified nation, a place where pharaohs ruled, gods were honored, and the foundations of Egyptian civilization were laid. Memphis was perfectly positioned on the west bank of the Nile, just south of modern-day Cairo. It commanded trade routes connecting the fertile south with the bustling north. Its harbors teemed with ships carrying grain, stone, gold, and exotic goods from distant lands. Workshops hummed with the activity of craftsmen under the patronage of Ptah, the creator god and patron of artisans. The great Temple of Ptah stood as the city's spiritual core, a vast complex where priests developed sophisticated theology. According to the Memphite theology, Ptah brought the world into being through thought and speech, an idea of divine intellect that echoed through centuries. During the early dynastic period and the Old Kingdom, Memphis reigned supreme as the capital through more than 6 dynasties. It was from here that pharaohs like Djoser organized the construction of the Step Pyramid at Saqqara, the world's first large-scale stone monument. Successive rulers built ever more ambitious tombs across the nearby necropolis, the bent and red pyramids of Dashur, the majestic pyramids of Giza, and the sprawling fields of mastabas and rock-cut tombs. These monuments were not mere graves, they were eternal statements of power, linking the divine pharaohs to the stars and ensuring their immortality. The city itself was a marvel. At its height, it may have housed tens of thousands, making it one of the largest urban centers of the ancient world. Palaces, administrative buildings, granaries, and bustling markets filled its streets. Coronations and the Heb-Sed Jubilee festivals, which renewed the king's vitality and reaffirmed the unity of Egypt, were held here. Even as political capitals sometimes shifted to Thebes in later periods, Memphis retained its prestige as a religious and economic powerhouse. Pharaohs of the New Kingdom, including Ramses II and Potts, revived and expanded the city. Temples grew grander, and the cult of the Apis bull, an incarnation of Ptah, drew pilgrims to the Serapeum at Saqqara. Foreign invaders, Persians, Greeks, and others, recognized Memphis's importance and sought to control it. Alexander the Great visited, and under the Ptolemies, it continued as a vital center even as Alexandria rose as the new political capital. Yet time and the shifting sands of history took their toll. As Christianity spread and later Islamic forces arrived, the ancient temples fell silent. By the 7th century CE, Memphis was largely abandoned. Its stones were quarried for new cities like Cairo. What remained were fragments, colossal statues of Ramses II lying in the dust, alabaster sphinxes, and the faint outlines of once mighty walls. Today, the ruins of Memphis form part of a UNESCO World Heritage Site, alongside its pyramid fields from Giza to Dashur. An open-air museum welcomes visitors to walk where pharaohs once strode. A massive statue of Ramses II, once towering in the temple precinct, now lies protected under a pavilion, its serene gaze still evoking the majesty of an empire that lasted millennia. Memphis was more than stone and mud brick. It was the birthplace of a civilization that mastered architecture, administration, art, and spirituality on a scale that still astonishes us. Its legacy echoes in the pyramids that pierce the desert sky, in the myths of creation, and in the enduring idea of a unified state. Though the city itself faded, its spirit, the ambition, ingenuity, and reverence for the eternal, continues to inspire. The quiet ruins south of Cairo, the first capital of ancient Egypt, still whispers the story of humanity's earliest great power.